You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Bufa. Well, business is booming for Long Island's first pot shop. So when and where are other stores going to open up? Macy Eglin and Serena Trangle have the story you'll see only in Newsday.
We are starting to see some of our first licensed recreational pot shops open up on Long Island. The first to open its doors, experiencing some big business right now. Serena Trangle has been looking into this first location in Farmingdale. What have they been telling you about the first couple weeks of business?
They've been saying it's extremely busy. For the first 2.5 weeks, there was a line of folks waiting to get in. They had to increase their staff, going from about 15 to 26 people to meet demand. They're seeing an average of about 1,100 people a day, spending an average of $100.
So we have some delivery services on Long Island. This Farmingdale location being the first brick and mortar store, is that affecting the delivery services at all?
They say they're still going strong and doing well. One delivery service is based out of Queens, and they also are increasing their headcount to meet demand. They started with about 3 people, now have close to 12, and are looking to get to 35. The other delivery service is based out of Albany. They have seen a slight decrease, but say things are still going quite well.
Okay, so looking to the future as far as potentially more recreational pot shops on Long Island, where are we at in that process right now?
So there are 35 other companies that are licensed to open a recreational dispensary on Long Island. They have struggled to find locations. Many communities have chosen not to allow pot shops. 4 towns allow them: Babylon, Brookhaven, Riverhead, and Southampton, although there are zoning restrictions that can make it complicated for people to find locations.
Okay, but we could potentially in the future see a few more brick and mortar locations in those 4 towns you mentioned.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. All right, good information. Thank you, Serena.
Now, to read more on this story, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. And migrants have begun to shelter at Creedmoor Psychiatric Center near the Queens-Nassau border. With city shelters filling up, the Queens Borough President suggested the Nassau Coliseum as a shelter, but County Executive Bruce Blakeman says that's not an option.
Nassau County is not a sanctuary county. We are not inviting immigrants and migrants into the county that are here from south of the border and not using the proper and normal channels that have been used in the past.
An Immigration and Customs Enforcement report finds that more than 76,000 migrants have arrived in New York City since last spring. And we have an update on the man who tested positive for a rare but potentially deadly bacteria. The Suffolk Health Department says the dead man who tested positive for vibriosis was a 55-year-old from Brookhaven. He had a wound on his leg and an underlying health condition. 18 cases of vibriosis have been reported in Suffolk this year. Now, this bacteria is tied to shellfish and seawater. And there was a groundbreaking ceremony today for a $12 million sewer project.
3, 2, 1.
The project connects the Central Islip Business District to the Suffolk County sewer system. It's a part of the Central Islip Downtown Revitalization Initiative.
We can only develop our downtown so much without sewers, without the proper infrastructure. This is going to be a catalyst that's really going to lift up Central Islip and allow us to develop this downtown.
Construction is expected to take 18 months. And a group of local fishermen are trying to right some wrongs by cleaning up abandoned lobster traps. Newsday TV's Steve Langford reports from the Long Island Sound.
Back from 6 hours out on the Long Island Sound, the spirit has returned with a catch of 19 abandoned lobster traps.
Well, what we're doing is we're trying to right a wrong.
Captain Bob Harrington was part of the lobster industry that collapsed here in the late 1990s. Now Harrington and others have joined forces in a partnership to help clean up the bottom of the Sound, littered with old lobster traps.
What you see here is a bunch of what we call ghost traps that still catch marine life and actually die inside the marine life. And, you know, marine life eats marine life, and so it just keeps going on and on and on.
The estimated number of lobster traps still out here in the water, staggering.
The number could be very large, approaching 1 million. We don't think there's that many out there. but, we're still finding them.
Scott Curatolo-Wagaman of the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Suffolk County says this removal program, which started 11 years ago, has so far pulled out about 21,000 old lobster traps.
There were still some lobstermen out there that were noticing they were finding the remnants of some traps that had been abandoned, some that had been lost.
It's pollution on the bottom of the sound, which is not a good thing in general. But these traps are still fishing, and they're killing marine life that's getting scarcer by the day.
Some of the traps still have ID tags on them, which the Recovery Partnership uses to contact fishermen in case they want their gear back. Otherwise, they're turned over to recycling.
Some people had a load of traps, and they weren't making any money, so they got rid of everything they had on the beach, and they left their traps in the water, which is not a good thing.
Much work to do in the Long Island Sound. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
And police officers delivered a baby in an Amityville home today. A 911 caller reported a woman in labor. The mother-to-be was in the bathroom of her apartment when cops arrived. Now, officers Michael Stroline and Diego Montero helped to deliver the baby girl, Callie. Mom and baby are doing well. All right, let's take a look at your Long Island weather, shall we? You can see tonight we have some thunderstorms late, and tomorrow we have some morning thunderstorms. So take a closer look at tomorrow. We can see it's kind of a mixed bag. We start off rough, but get out of the wet. But then it's a bunch of clouds throughout the day.
Long Island weather is brought to you by the Canine Center.
An iconic Long Island entertainment venue is celebrating its 40th anniversary. Lisa DeStefano checks out the evolution of Mulcahy's.
Mulcahy's is celebrating a major milestone. Let's go back through 40 years of music and memories. 40 years, there's a whole lot of history here.
Oh yeah, 40 years. Time flies.
When you're having fun?
Yeah.
There's been a lot of fun had in this building.
John Murray Jr. bought what's now a Long Island institution here in Wantagh back in 1983. It's become a family business with John's son Timmy now running the show with him.
Way back when, I expanded into that store.
And you did that big one in '94, right? This was like 2016. This was the Tiki Bar. We had a couple big shows. He wrote a little note like, maybe I could expand one more time. Everyone thought he was nuts. And then we expanded again.
One more time in 2019.
That's like current Mulcahy's, and I don't think there's anywhere else to go, but
you never know.
Maybe up.
The latest and fifth expansion allowed the Murrays to bring bigger bands like Taking Back Sunday to play on the Mike Del Giudice stage, where Long Island legends have performed over the years.
These are such great photos.
Joan Jett. This is Clarence Clements. This is Eddie Money with the 2 tickets to Paradise. And my friend Mike Francesa and Mike and the Mad Dog. Mike made over 30, 40 appearances here for charity.
From charity events to sellout shows from cover bands going back to the very beginning.
We put a band called the Satellites, which is really synonymous with Mulcahy's. They played Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and I give them in my top 10 reasons we're here today.
To plenty of parties.
Wow. This is pretty famous, the Out of the Weeds cards. Big party every Monday in the summer.
Mulcahy's can be credited for many memories and nights of good, clean fun.
What do you attribute to being a success and being here 40 years and counting?
Luck. Just right place, right time. Very lucky. I thank everybody for their patronage and for the town accepting us. The people in Wantagh have been great.
For Newsday TV, Elisa DiStefano.
Truly a historic place. Now to read more, go to Newsday.com, click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
What's Up on Long Island is brought to you by PC Richard & Son.
All right, here's what's up on Long Island. See the the Lumineers. The alternative folk rock band is in concert with James Bay Friday night. It's at the Northwell Health at Jones Beach Theater in Wantagh. The Long Island Bluegrass and Roots Music Festival. Traditional bluegrass music is featured along with Americana and roots music. You'll also find music workshops, vendors, and raffles. Bring a blanket or chair on Saturday to Tanner Park in Copiague. Or why not go see the Long Island Ducks with post-game fireworks? The Ducks host the Charleston Dirty Birds on Saturday. First pitch is at 6:35 at Fairfield Properties Ballpark in Central Islip. Now for admission info and more events, click Get More below the NewsdayTV video box.
I'm telling stories about these professional athletes, but they're still humans. And I think when we tell those stories, it really gives people a different angle into the thing that they watch every single day for fun.
Newsday, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Bufa. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.